Dub C here, and we're back with another Survival Saturday. Doing some more cold weather camping. I'm going to set up another hot tent, but it's going to be a different one. For this weekend, I am going to utilize the same Winterwell large stove that I have a lot of good luck with. But for the hot tent, I got a Russian Bear Market Cuboid 2.2. Awesome tent. Actually, one that I took with Round Outdoors to our northern Minnesota adventure that worked great. But it did get damaged up there, so I did have to repair it some, and I had to modify it for the stove, so you have to check that out. For food, I'm eating the Slovenian 24-hour menu type B. Really excited to bust into this, but I gotta get some shelter, so let's get this tent set up. And also special thanks to Ryan Outdoors for actually giving it to me and let me use it. I'll put a link for his channel down below. But this thing was pretty awesome. I mean, we definitely had some really extreme cold temps up there, negative, I want to say 10 or below Fahrenheit, that we stayed completely warm. We actually stayed on the ice with it as well, so we had no cover. So this thing was great, but like I said, there was some damage when the wind actually collapsed it, because the winds were like 40 mile an hour plus and did not do the greatest. But I do have it all repaired, and I will show the setup now. A couple reasons I really like this tent outside the fact that it's extremely good for cold weather. How easy the setup is. I mean, it just takes a little bit to get inside, but you push up the top and all you do is push out the sides and stake it down and it's done. The other thing is the layout. I like the square layout. Having that teepee hot tent is nice, but it's hard to get everything kind of situated and organized. I really like the layout in this one because the stove goes in the middle and everything else kind of lays out around it. And you can put a cot in here easily. You're not digging into the sides of the tent or anything like that. So really like this. I'll show the inside, but I wanted to just get it set up and now I'm gonna stake it down now. One thing I did want to show on this tent is the reason I think it's so successful being a 4-season tent or a cold weather tent is the fact that it has dual layers, right? So you have the outer shell that protects it from the weather, and then you have an inner shell that actually contains the heat, and you have the air insulator. And also stops condensation and a lot of other things. There's a vent in the back that we can get the fresh air in. The windows open and they're also multi-layered. But one of the biggest things that happened when it got collapsed by the wind was this layer started ripping inside the tent. The outside of the layer didn't really take that much damage. A few spots I had to tape up, but the inside took the most damage. Okay, we're pretty much set up. It's that easy, getting it staked out, getting everything even inside. And I'll show some of the spots I actually repaired with the, I call it like Raptor tape or all-weather tape. Basically tape the inside meshes and a few spots pretty much on all the corners. You notice all the corners is where it ripped apart. You look over here, the bottom edge, 2 spots there. And if you start getting separation of those spots, I had to zip tie. The mesh will like actually fall in on you. But you want it to affix to the beams that it's already hooked to. And that's what it ripped away from. But got most of that repaired. Now I'll show the stove jack, because the stove is going to actually go right in the middle, right here. And the stove jack's right up top, and it was set up for a 3-inch pipe, but I just took the brackets out, which I'll show now. There was like some hose clamps or like metal clamps in there, and I just took those off, and it allows me to put the 3.5-inch Winterwell large stovepipe up through there, and it's the same material as my hot tent stove jack, so I don't see any issues, but tonight will be the test. It's time to set up the Winterwell large stove. I don't know how it's going to fit because of the stovepipe placement. I know that the Russian Bear Market stoves are a little different, and I think their stovepipe is actually out the front and actually moves it around. So we'll have to see how it lays out. Okay, I went and set my cot up just so I could see the placement and trying to get the space right, because if I stick it kind of going this way, the pipe doesn't line up until it's like way out here. I don't really want it in the middle of the shelter. I mean, it's not bad as far as a heating perspective, but I want to try and get a good layout. So I'm actually going to turn it sideways and try this. Okay, after moving some stuff around, I figured this is the best setup. Lines up good. It's actually quite a bit of space back there, but I'll use that for wood storage. Okay, I got everything set up. Looks like we're doing really well. I got the wood stove set up. Once I get a fire burning, I'll see if I have to adjust spacing. Got the cot set up, and I'll actually solve my sleep system next. I have a wool blanket that I brought, as well as a blanket that was sent to me from Get Out Gear Adventure Blankets It's I think it's 640 down blanket, and I'm going to use those to sleep in the tent tonight. I also picked up the Pathfinder Backpack. I've been trying that out, seeing how well it works. Be a later video on that. But for my sleep system, I got a wool blanket at the bottom here. It's just a large wool blanket. So I just had that strapped to the bottom of the pack, and then it's in a dry sack to keep it any snow or moisture getting to it, to keep it dry. I'll probably use this as my bottom cover, and then for the top, that's why I shoot this new blanket. We got a Get Out Gear down puffy blanket. Get Out Gear actually sent this my way. There is a ton of variety as far as colors. I picked the black one. I think there's green, and other variations are really cool. The reason I want to get it out is it's got to air up. And not necessarily like inflate it, but the air's got to get to it and actually build up that down. Because it's a down puffy blanket. It's really light. I believe it's like a pound, maybe. It's very compact. And you can actually supplement it to sleeping bags and add 10 to 15 degrees to the rating. I think it's rated 40 degrees, which it should be plenty enough for inside this hot tent if I have the stove going. But definitely going to try it out. But I'm just going to go ahead and lay it out, like I said, so that air can get it to it and inflate it. Like I said, it's really compact. I like how it kind of squishes down, but let's see how big it is after we bring it out. It's got a nice bag to go with it. And it's very thin at first. Like I said, once that air gets to it, it should kind of fill in some. We're definitely going to put it to the test tonight and see how well it does. Seems to have some snaps on it. You know, if you want to wrap yourself up. But I'm just going to use it as a full-on blanket. And it's already starting to get some of the air to it, so that's really cool. Alright, now that the bed's made up, I'm actually going to use my hoodie. Dave Canterbury actually showed a good way on his videos to use your hoodie as a pillow. And that way you're not bringing an extra pillow. So I'll be using that. That's really cool. And then I'm going to use the Pathfinder Mini Inferno to actually start my fire because it's lunchtime. I'm hungry. But I do want to test this wood stove out here and make sure it's going to work all right before it gets to the point where I'm sleeping and there's a problem. So I'll go ahead and start a fire real quick, and that way I can warm up some water too. Alright, it's time to build the fire. So one thing is my stove was uneven, so I did have to cut a little shim, and I just cut that with the silky saw to place on this leg, and now it's nice and sturdy. So that's good. And I'm going to be using the Pathfinder Mini Inferno fire starter. I built the fire layer in there. I'm going to go ahead and place one of the pieces of the tinder. They can be struck with a spark like ferro rod, but I'll just use a lighter for this inside here, and I'll probably try it out there with when I start a fire campfire. I'll try it with a ferro rod. But once I get the tinder lit, then I'll place some smalls on it and see how we do. And this stuff is a little bit wet, so bear with me. Tinder's working great. Now we just gotta put some more smalls on it and get this thing a-roaring. I'm gonna go ahead and baton some wood because all the stuff's wet on the outside. See if I can get the split. I got the Kelpark XL. I've actually talked about in my other videos, but first time actually taking it out and giving it a shot. Okay, now that we got a fire going, starting to warm inside the tent, I'm going to go ahead and have lunch. And I'm going to bust out this combat ration, Type B. This is Slovenian. Unfortunately, it was opened. The mains were taken, but I did replace them with 2 other ones. So the mains were supposed to be, because it has a list on the front of all the items. Sorry about the glare, but it's supposed to be lentil hot pot and beef and pasta goulash. But I found some cooler items to replace those with, and making the best of this ration still. So I'll go ahead and open it up. Trying to cut it carefully and save my tape job because I do want to put it on the wall of MREs. Go ahead and see what we got inside. So first thing we got is some crispy rice. Looks like it says protein on it, but it looks like crisp bread. Looks like we got 2 of them. Okay, next thing we have is a travel lunch lightweight food, and I believe these were the same brand as the mains, but they were taken out. And this is breakfast. This is chocolate muesli with whole milk powder. Luckily I didn't take those at least. Looks like we got an instant tea with lemon. It's 800 milliliters, so that's a pretty big drink. Okay, we got the dessert, which is wild berry yogurt dessert, also by Travel Lunch. Looks like there's a kit of some sort, a garbage bag, and some other stuff in there. We'll take a look at that. We got a vitamin drink. We got some strawberry, it looks like energy and vitamins. We have a chocolate bar. We got utensils. We got a can, looks like maybe tuna pate or just tuna. We got 2 fruit bars with minerals and vitamins. We got, looks like some honey. I like the container, actually keeps it from getting punctured. That's really nice. I haven't seen that before. We got another vitamin drink. Oh, this must be the tuna. This is tuna steak and olive oil. And then this must be like a tuna pate. We got a chocolate flavored 100% pure whey protein powder. Looks like a 3rd mineral drink. Another honey. 2 mains replaced. I actually got a Backpacker's Pantry Shepherd's Potato Stew with beef. And then Storeway Gourmet Comrade Diagonov. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but it's cream of stroganoff with venison, pasta, mushrooms, and secret sauce. So overall, it's a really cool ration. Lots of new items I've never tried before, which is nice. I mean, I've had the travel lunch and other rations, but all the other stuff looks like fairly new. Go ahead and see what's in this. Okay, first thing we got looks like a garbage bag, which is really awesome. And a pretty big one, so we'll utilize that. We got a hand sanitizer, tissue, got some weatherproof matches, 2 coffee creamers or sugars, we got some sugar-free chewing gum, looks like 2 more hand sanitizer wipes. Okay, the last 3 things, you got some coffee whitener, and it actually comes with a can opener. Probably for this can. Not sure why it has the can opener, because both these are pop tops. But still cool to have another one. Utensil pack looks pretty basic. You got a spoon, fork, knife, and some napkins. Okay, for lunch I'm going to have the fruit bar with vitamins, minerals, some crispy bread. I got tuna steak with I think it's an oil. We'll do a vitamin drink. Try one of these vitamin tabs. Looks like vitamin C. Looks like a strawberry flavored. And then we'll have the shepherd's potato stew with beef. Water's ready to go on the stove, so I'm going to go ahead and get this going. Looks like it needs 530 milliliters of water. Let's go ahead and open this up. Hot water's ready to go. We'll go ahead and take a look at the main real quick. Get the action tab out. Looks like the mashed potatoes up top. Got some vegetables. Add hot water and we'll give it a stir. It actually takes quite a bit of water too. I'm only adding just shy. I think it said 530 milliliters. I just went for about 500. Open up the fruit bar. Looks like it broke a little bit. Almost looks like compressed dried fruit with some grains. Should be pretty good. We'll have that for dessert. We'll open up the crisp bread. I wonder if this is flavored. I've had other crisp bread that was just normal. This is broken up a little bit, but I'm going to try some right now. Nope, just regular crisp bread. No special flavoring. I've had some that was really good from another ration that had like cheddar cheese flavor. Okay, we'll go ahead and pour the drink mix in the cup. It calls for 500 milliliters. Not sure what flavor it is. Has like a lemon lime smell to it, so I'm guessing it might be like a lemon lime. We'll go and open up the tuna fish. I think it's like tuna steak. I don't know if it's in oil or not. Yeah, it looks to be in oil. Let's go and set that. Yeah, it's definitely in oil. We'll go ahead and try a chunk of this. I really enjoy this tuna fish. It has a great flavor. It has a little bit of bitterness, but I like that. The oil, usually I eat the tuna fish with like water. So the oil's a little bit different, but it makes it very rich. And the water, like I said, calls for 500 milliliters. It's actually, I think it'll be watered down, but it might be very refreshing because there was only a little bit of mix. I'm going to try some of this tuna fish on the crisp bread. Definitely needs it because it is very dry. Maybe the oil and the tuna fish will definitely help that out. Perfect combination, putting the crisp bread with the tuna fish. It does help a lot, but that crisp bread is still very dry. I'm going to go ahead and try this vitamin drink. It's a little bit like I expected. It's pretty watered down, but again, very refreshing. It does taste like lemon lime, but if you're just getting quench your thirst, this will definitely do it. Go ahead and check out these. Not sure what they are. I don't know if they're drinks or you just chew on them. Let's try chew one first. They just taste like a strawberry flavored like multivitamin. They're definitely chewable, not like where you put them in water and they'll make a drink or anything. But only thing I could see on the front, it said vitamin enriched bonbons. I'm not sure if this is the item. I think it's a good idea to have these in the ration, just, you know, make sure you're getting your vitamins. All right, I think the main's done. This is shepherd's potato stew with beef. Let's go and take a look at it. Actually all kind of mushed up together. Got corn, peas, chunks of potato, and then chunks of beef. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Okay, I'm definitely getting this stew aspect. The first thing that hits me is like an onion flavor, possibly like an onion powder, and then a little bit of garlic, and then the mashed potatoes, and then we get a little bit of the vegetables, and then there's little chunks of beef in there to kind of balance everything out. Definitely a hearty stew, especially for cold weather. I definitely want to try some of the stew on the crisp bread because I think that would be a good combination. All right, here we go. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, the stew on the crisp bread actually works out better than the tuna fish because it does have more, it's like, if I added more water, it would be more like a stew and it would absorb more moisture and flavor. But they definitely go together really well. Now I'm going to go ahead and try this fruit bar. This is one of the better fruit bars I've had in the ration. It has like a strawberry, raspberry kick to it. I'm not even sure what's in it, but definitely that real fruit taste. And then the grains, like I said, but it's more sweet than savory. Very enjoyable and would be an excellent snack on the go. So far, been an excellent lunch. I'm really excited for dinner to try the other Stowaway Gourmet main. But I'm going to go and finish this up and start collecting some firewood for a campfire. All right, I gathered some firewood. Time to have a fire. So we have I'm going to use the Mini Inferno all-weather fire tinder. This time I'm going to spark it with the ferro rod. So I want to rough it up a little bit. Looks like it's got all these fibers in here. That's what you want to expose. And it's really easy to get them exposed. You just kind of peel this back. Make that so as soon as you hit that spark, should instantly ignite. And I mean, this is quite a bit of tinder. You could actually break this up into mini fires, but I'll go ahead and use this one. Break this up and then I'll set it on some bark. I'll ignite it, and once I get it, I can place it in there. So I get my knife, my ferro rod, instantly ignited. So I'm going to go and spin that in there, roll my littles on top of it. Should have a fire in no time. Super easy to get a fire, and keep in mind this tinder, wood, everything is really wet from this snow and, you know, just warming up, and it just took right off. Fire's looking good. now it's dinner time. For dinner, we have some leftover crisp bread, which I have some more if I need it. We have the fish and vegetable pate. Go with the crisp bread. We got a bar of chocolate. We're gonna have the instant tea with lemon. It's quite a bit of, it's like 800 milliliters, so that's quite a bit of water. And then we have the Storeway Gourmet. I think this is one of the newer mains. Comrade Doganoff. Like I said, not for sure how to pronounce that, but it's got venison in it, mushrooms. Really excited for it. Then we have dessert. This is the wild berry yogurt dessert. First, I'm gonna go ahead and sterilize my hands. Looks like it's like a hand sanitizer with aloe vera. Go ahead and clean my hands up real quick before we eat. Okay, hands are all cleaned up, so let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at what it is. I've had some Storeway Gourmet before. I was pretty impressed by it. Whoa. Big old chunks. Look at that. So it actually requires a lot less water than the other main I just had. This is 296 milliliters, or a cup and a quarter. Go ahead and get the hot water real quick. Get the hot water. Go ahead and add that. And let it sit. It's already starting to reconstitute. You can see the big chunks of venison in there. We'll go ahead and make the instant tea with lemon. Probably not going to put all the mix in there because I don't really want to do 800 milliliters. So I'll do about 3/4. Go ahead and add some water. And we'll get the yogurt, wild berry yogurt dessert, get that going so it can just reconstitute while I'm eating everything else. And this only takes 196 milliliters. Looks like I got the right consistency, and if I add too much water, it just becomes a smoothie. But I just broke the spoon trying to mix it, so I got to go back to the backup spoon. I'm going to go ahead and open this pate up. Whoa. Look at that. It's like a reddish color. You can definitely smell the vegetable right away on this. Let's go ahead and try some on one of the crisp breads. It looks really good. All right, this pate is really good. I was really impressed by it. It reminds me of like a tuna fish salad with dill pickles, because it has a little sweetness to it, but then it has an accent of like tomato sauce. So really works out really well. That may be MVP of this ration so far. I'm gonna go and wash it down with the instant tea with lemon drink. All right, I was kind of worried because I don't like the instant teas that much, but the lemon kick really does a good job. There's actually quite a bit of lemon flavor in this, and the sweetness isn't over the top, but kind of makes like a Arnold Palmer perfectly, like a lemonade and iced tea. Okay, the main's ready to go. Big old chunks of venison, big old mushrooms, the noodles, everything. I mean, it had an amazing smell when I opened it. I'm really excited to try this. Okay, I'm not kidding when I say this, but when I get home, I'm gonna be ordering like 3 or 4 more of those just so I can have them. This is awesome. It reminds me of something my dad used to make homemade. So you got a homemade meal on the go, but just the big chunks of venison, the mushrooms, everything reconstituted perfectly. It's very natural. They do a really good job of having a natural flavor instead of like artificial. But wow, very impressive. It's such a savory, salty mix, but hits all the elements. All the venison flavor comes through, the mushrooms. This is a great main. This is easily one of my new favorite mains. Really good job with this one. I mean, it's definitely my favorite for Storeway Gourmet for sure. All right, that is gone. Excellent main. Now I'm going to try this chocolate. See how bloomed it is, I wonder. See if this ration's seen any heat at some time. Actually, not really at all. It's a little bit. Go ahead and try a piece of that. Really good chocolate. Actually held up really well. And I think it's about 60% dark chocolate. Perfect for a after meal snack. Okay, it's time for dessert. Got the wild berry yogurt. Oh yeah, nice and thick. Let's go ahead and give it a try. The fruit is amazing. It has freeze-dried black currant, strawberries, and raspberries, and they all pop when you're eating this yogurt. As you're biting on them, they reconstitute. Just amazing flavor in this. This would be good for breakfast too, if you had like oats and you just dumped down the oats. Okay, this turned out to be an awesome dinner. This main, top notch. So it's crazy because I was sad when I lost the mains out of this, but it gives me a chance to try new ones and find new ones I like. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up and enjoy the campfire. Okay, it's bedtime. Just stoked up the fire, loaded it up, trying to turn it down. It's definitely hot in here. I think it's about 20 degrees outside, and it's easily 70 plus in here, especially up top. I had the Govee weather station set up, and it was like 82 degrees up top, but it definitely very comfortable. I'm going to be using the Get Out Gear 640 down blanket as see how well that works. And I got the breakfast left on the Type B combat ration from Slovenia, so been a good time, and this tent is working out fantastic, just like it did in northern Minnesota. Okay, so I guess it's lights out. Okay, it's morning time. Slept great. This tent is definitely for colder weather. It's currently about 20 degrees Fahrenheit outside. It stayed 70 down here. Very, very comfortable. And this wood stove is a great, combo. You could definitely take on some really, really cold temps. I was very impressed. But I really like this blanket as well. This is the Get Out Gear down blanket. And it's cool because it actually, like, each pocket fills with air and kind of sustains that, and that's what gets that insulation. Very comfortable, very soft. I was able to sleep with this with the blanket no problem in cold weather camping. I do want to try it some more, and pair it with my Teton negative 25 degree Fahrenheit bag and see how much it improves that. You know, maybe go do a tarp camp or something like that and see how well it does. But I just made my morning coffee and just enjoying it. Now, I'll definitely provide a link down below for this blanket. Like I said, I don't. It's not just for camping either. You can have it for camping because it's waterproof, I believe, or water resistant and windproof. And it would be good for like a stadium events or sporting events and anything where you're going to be sitting outside idle. It would definitely help maintain the heat because there's ways to wrap around. Like I said, the snaps I think are maybe to set it up for like a sleeping bag, or it even just snap around you. But works great for a blanket, and I love how compact it is. I usually say this a lot, but it's nice to get back out in the woods after not being able to go for quite some time. Just having the campfire, sleeping outside, the sounds of the woods, the fresh air. I mean, it all adds up. It really helps me de-stress from a week. Okay, now it's time for breakfast. Let's see what we got left. So we have the chocolate muesli with milk powder. And you can do this hot or cold, and it doesn't specify how much water. It actually says to taste. I'm going to try to mix it up thick, because that's how I like it. We have the remaining crisp breads. We have some honey. We have the coffee, instant coffee with whitener and sugar. And then I have the 100% whey protein powder. Okay, we'll go ahead and take a look at this, see what it looks like before. Not really a big fan of not having the Ziplocs up here. These are the travel lunch never seem to have those Ziplocs. Maybe they've changed in the future. But looks like chocolate muesli. Some milk powder. We're just go ahead and add some hot water off the wood stove. Another reason I like to add hot water to chocolate muesli is because it melts. So it should be pretty awesome. Go ahead and flip that over, let it sit. And the direction on this is actually add it to a shaker bottle. We do not have that. So I'm just going to add it to a cup and add a little bit of water at first. And then try to mix it and then add the rest of the water. But it calls for 250 milliliters. Just to give you an idea, I'm actually just going to add the coffee to this chocolate protein drink, make it hot, and make like a hot mochaccino. So we'll add the coffee. And then the sugar and the whitener. I was concerned about this not mixing up, so adding the hot water is what gave me the idea, and it'll be even better. That way I'll get caffeine and protein ready to go. Add the sugar. Alright, that may have been a horrible idea. It's not mixing up that way that great, and it doesn't smell good at all. So hopefully if I let it sit for a little bit, it might be okay. Okay, now we have these little honey packs, and I really like how they added this little protector sleeve. That's the first time I've seen that, to keep it from getting damaged or poked or anything. I see a lot of these packages and rations get damaged, smashed, and I think that would help a lot. So let's go ahead and open it up. Oh, that looks great. I just want to try that by itself. Itself is really good. It has a weird aftertaste, and it's not a bad aftertaste. It's just something different from that honey. It's got sweet, but it's almost got like a, I don't know, floral accent. It's really interesting. I'm going to go ahead and put some on some crisp bread. Let's see if this is a good combo. The good thing about this bread is it goes with everything because it's got a neutral flavor. Adding the honey makes it like sweet and savory. Works out perfectly. It is still very dry though. So I'm going to go ahead and try this protein shake that did not mix up that great. Alright, the chocolate protein coffee drink, even though it looks terrible, actually tastes pretty good. It does not mix nearly as good as the American Emery chocolate protein, but still it gives a nice change up. Alright, it's time to try the chocolate muesli with milk. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Nice and thick. It's all, the chocolate's melted and all through everything. Let's go and try it out. Alright, this is a great chocolate muesli. All the chocolate melted, and it really tastes like a hot chocolate now. It's hot, and it just wraps all the oats full of flavor. Very, very good. Okay, it's been an excellent breakfast. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and we'll head to recap. Okay, so it's time for the recap for the overnight, the gear, and the food. Overnight. Had an awesome stay in the Russian Bear tent. Cuboid 2.2. It had some damage. I was able to repair it, and I wanted to test the repairs, as well as see how well the Winterwell stove worked with it, and see how the stove jack modification went. All went great. So now this is tested where I can do some extreme cold weather, and I'll have confidence in both stove and tent that it'll be okay. So stayed about 60 degrees, 70 degrees in there, no problem. Worked out great. Now as far as the gear, I had the Get Out Gear down puffy blanket. This thing worked great, hot tent camping, but I'm really excited to try it out in other places, such as maybe a tarp camp with a sleep bag, because it can enhance another sleep bag rating by 10 to 15 degrees. And I can see why. I love how compact it is. This would probably be a great ultralight item. The fact that it was really easy to put away, just smash it down, put it in the sack, and it was good. Very impressed with this product. Again, the link will be down below if you want to check it out. All kinds of variations in color, and I think they have some other products as well. I was also really impressed with this fire tender. This is from SRO, Pathfinder Mini Inferno. This stuff started a fire in the stove with the lighter or with ferro rod very easily. Really good burn time. Definitely be getting some more of this stuff. I'll put a link for the Survival Reliance Outfitters website down below. As far as the food, we had Slovenian Combat Ration Type B. However, the mains were taken out. I still made the best of it. So I had the Stowaway Gourmet Comrade, and I kept the package for this one because I really wanted to speak highly of this one. Really enjoyed this main. Tasted homemade. I'll definitely be getting more. The venison tasted great. The mushrooms, the noodles, all worked out great in this main. The other main from Backpacker's Pantry, I think it was a stew. I wasn't really into that one. It tasted, the onions and the garlic were very, like, unnatural. Like I said, the Stowaway Gourmet were very natural, whereas the other one was more processed. But the components in the ration that were still there, such as the chocolate muesli, that was amazing. And as the yogurt, wild berry yogurt, had black currant, freeze-dried black currant in it with strawberries and raspberries. Another great dessert. And I was really impressed with the fish and vegetable pate. It was like the Russian caviar. I couldn't think of it last night, but it was like Russian caviar with the vegetables mixed in with the fish pate. It was fantastic on the crisp bread. Definitely enough in this ration to sustain you for over 24 hours. Lots of great items, and it's always fun to try new things. But it was a great time, and I'm excited for bigger and better adventures. But that's all I got now, so thanks for watching. Have a great day.